Do you feel the vibes?
Hello everybody, Dragon Sawyer here, and today we'll be making a tank game. So, sorry for the lack of uploads, it's just that I haven't been having any inspiration lately. So, I hope that this will be a good series that I can continue making. So, the reason I wanted to make a tank game is because I've been working on a tank game for a long time now, but it really wasn't like the best. So, what I will do is that I will share a tutorial of my recent progress, like from the beginnings to the point where it is right now, and then I'll continue to improve on it, hoping for maybe every other week uploads on this. I can't guarantee anything as there's no set schedule right now. So, let's get started. So, I've already had all the sprites that I'll be using for today ready. So, of just a few of them is a blue bullet. This is basically what the blue tank, which is the player tank, will be shooting. So it's like basically a rectangle with two different shades. Then we have the actual tank. I've made like a kind of camo. I tried to make it look like camo, and then I've also done two costumes for it. Each of these costumes is a different like way for the treads, so like you can like make it switch costumes to make it look like the treads are moving. And then here I have a small explosion that would be used when the thing dies. I won't be using that today, but it will be part of the end product. The same explosion is in the red tank, and the color palette for the red tank is different, but the design is the same. So here's the turret, I guess you would call it, on top of the tank, and that gray spot would be the center as a reference point for where this would go. And it's pretty simple design. You can make it as complex or simple as you want. I did the same thing for the red hull, but a little bit more color, and then a simple bullet. So let's get started with the blue tank turret and the blue hull. So the first thing we have to do is for code, we have to make sure that the blue tank turret goes to there. So a simple way to do that is just go into when green flag clicked, forever, and then in motion you can go say go to, and then say blue tank hull. So now when I click the green flag, it is here. So wherever we move this, it goes along. But we already encountered a problem, so where if this like gets moved in any way, it will find the problem that this will be below that. So just in case if we're doing anything so that whenever we press the green flag it resets itself, I'd also like to put in and looks for the layers, go forward one layer. The reason for this is because if you say go to front and then you create like a new thing, for example like a beginning screen where you have to press start or like your options and everything, right? And you put that to go to front, then those will conflict and then it will like look buggy. So I usually don't use the go to front until I guarantee, like I promise myself that I like nothing will ever go in front of that. So it's usually safer to go forward one layer, but you could always do that and change it in the future. In my preference, I would go for the go forward one layer. So then, if we press the green flag right now, alright, you have to put that in this. So then it would really not make a difference. So I guess for now, doesn't really matter. So whenever you move it, it's always going to be on top. So now that's done. Another thing that we can do is I usually like separating everything that does. So this is just like the position of the turret. Now this is like the way the turret looks. So for this, I just say forever point to the mouse because you'll be controlling where the turret shoots. That would be in motion. Point towards mouse pointer. So now we have a turret that follows. So then we can go to the tank and say the movement. So for the movement, it's any way you want it. You go to when green fan clicked, if else, actually, I mean, I guess you could put if then, and then just put 4 of these because we have the WASD, so that's 4 keys. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you put that into a forever loop, and then you go into sensing and say key space key pressed, and then you just duplicate that over. And then you just go W, W, A, S, and D. Okay, so for what I like to do is instead of like doing it, I like to make the W and S keys like turn the tank, and then the A and D keys to move it. It's basically personal preference. So when I'm doing it, it's pretty much the same code, so you can just like swip it or like interchange them around. So if we went here when W key pressed, you'd say move 10 steps. So for example, if we're doing that, see we got a super fast tank, yay. So it's really hard. Okay, so that's that, right? So we got that. But to me, I'd always like to keep variables for things such as this. So I just made a bunch of variables for the red and blue tank. So here are all the blue things like blue tank HP, blue turning speed, blue reload time, blue reload, blue movement speed, blue bullet movement speed, and blue bullet damage. So this one and this one we won't be using today because, well, yeah, we're not using them, but the other ones we will be using. So these are just my preferences of these variables. I'll just leave them here for you guys to see for like a few seconds. But basically the blue tank HP is 100, so then the blue movement speed is 6, so instead of 10 it would be 6. Sorry, the blue bullet movement speed is 6, so instead of 10 it's 6. The damage right now I've set to 0. I've set them 0 for like testing purposes afterwards, but you don't have to worry about that right now. The turning speed is 1.5. That's the degree, like how many degrees your thing turns while your key is pressed. And reload time is how many seconds it takes to fire a bullet. And then blue reload is like if the amount of time you took is like over, like the 2 seconds are over, then it turns to yes. And then if after you shoot, it goes back to no, and then you have to wait 2 seconds again for it to go to yes. And then the blue movement speed is 1.5. There are mirror images of both of them are the exact same, so it's really nothing special. So when we go to the blue tank, and I just kept all of those in the backdrop where like they're like it just runs behind in the background. So we go into variables and we go to blue movement speed. So now if we did it, like it's a nice thing. So then what we do is in looks, I'd also like to switch costume. So now, if we go to next costume, right? Oh, well, right, there's those. So maybe switch to costume 1 and then switch to costume 2. So now, if I did it, it's very quick. So maybe we could put a weight in there. As I said, this is completely unexpected, so I'm not prepared in any way, so please mind that. Okay, so then you can see it's a little bit choppy because of that. So what we could do is that if we just take this out for a second and then duplicate this and put this in and then put these in for those, right? Now, whenever we click it, it's going. That might be a little bit fast, so I would put it for 0.3. That's like a good speed. It's really just some experimenting. So now as we see, I think it would be better if we can see it like with the tank. So now if we see, that's a bit choppy, so we can make it 0.3. Still a little bit choppy, so then maybe 0.1. See, like it looks nice aesthetically, so we can do that. So now that that's done, all we have to do is do the other parts. So for A, what would be left? So I would say for it to turn left. So for that, we can go to turn, and then we can put the left. And then remember how we put the turning speed? That's the degrees. So now, if we start, you can see they rotate as that. So it's pretty good. And then for the S key, it's going back. So we have to go to motion, and then we can say move. And for the move thing, you go move, and then what you have to do is for move, you have to go the opposite way. So you'd have to put a multiplication and say -1 so that you get the opposite of whatever number you put. So then if we said blue movement speed, now we'll go backwards, as you can see there, forwards and left. So now you can go left, backwards, forwards. So that's that. Now what we have to do is, I think a problem right now is that these are like obstructing each other. So what we could do, what I mean by obstructing is that if I press two keys at the same time, then they would like go over each other. So what we could do is if we went into this, we can put a or in there for like 4 pieces. So or, and then another one. So either one of these have to be pressed and then it will still work. Oh gosh. Let me just put these in. Let me just move this over. Okay, so, and then last one there. Because I don't need those ones. So that. did I duplicate it? Okay, so now that this is all done, we can, if we do this again, now we have back, forward, and left. So now I'm going front and that, so it's good. So then what we have to do, right, is do the D key. The D key is like the A key but in the opposite direction. So we'd go turn, and then we take this and duplicate it, put it in there. So now we have full movement of our tank. Great. So we have this and this. Next we have to do our blue bullet, and it is pretty much the same, where it has to be right in the center and has to point towards this. So what we could do, right, is send both of these to the blue bullet, and once those are sent to the blue bullet, what we can do is that take out the go forward, right, and when we take that out, we will have it centerized. So now you cannot see the blue bullet, but it's always going to be there. So then the next step that we have to do is that we can go into events. I'm still not used to this 3.0 editor, but oh well. We go to events and then say when green flag clicked forever, if mouse down, create a clone of myself so that we can fire, right? So we go into the control again and then say if and then sensing, and we say mouse down, and then we can put into events create clone of myself, which is actually in control. So now when I click the green flag, a clone will be made. If I move away there, there's another one. But here's the thing, right? I can just hold down, and as you can see, clones are continuously being made. So you can just make a drawing with this, but it's more efficient for pen. And now it froze because there's too many things. Oh great. No. What if we restarted it? Yeah, do not do that. That will mess this up quickly. Yeah, I have to do it because that. Okay, so it's all saved. Well, most of it is saved. So, yeah, just don't do what I just did. So, yeah. As I said, don't do what I just did or else you might lose your progress. That was very stupid of me. Well, once we did this, and we click that, now we have that, and we have to go back and say when green flag clicked, forever, create clone of myself, but instead, we say if mouse down, and we put an and block in it, right? We can put our sensing block and say, actually not true, if this equals. So now what I'm going to do is say that if the mouse is down, meaning that we're clicking the mouse, and in variables the blue reload is set equal to yes, because it's in the beginning it's automatically equal to yes, then we can create clone of myself. Is there a capital for the yes? Yes, there is a capital for yes, so we have to make it yes. There's a capital. Okay, so if mouse down and blue reload equals yes, then create a clone of myself and change the blue reload to no. So you go to control and say create clone of myself, and then you go to variables and say set, and you go to blue reload to, no, with a capital letter, because I love my capitals. Now, for that, we can, to set it back to no, you say when green flag clicked, forever, put an if, and put another equals in. But this time, if we say if blue reload equals no, then we put in control wait blue reload time second, so that's 2 seconds, and then we put in variables set blue reload to yes. So now we click, we got that. Now we have to wait and then another 2 seconds. So if I constantly spam, every 2 seconds we get a bullet. But now look at this. They're not doing anything, and they're basically not like going anywhere. They're all just there. And that would cause a lot of lag. So what we have to do is that we also put in here when I start as clone, forever move. You say move, and then you go into variables. You say blue bullet movement speed. So now, if I fired, you see it goes there, but now it's going on forever. So what we can do then is in sensing, if we say, I think it's saying touching edge. So yeah, touching, there's a setting here that says edge, right? So forever move bullet movement steps. And then we also put in another one when I start as clone. And then I do another forever, another if, and then another if. We say if touching edge, delete the clone. So now, if I've done this properly, we should have that it goes and then goes away. So right now, even if we fired it at something, it just goes like away. So that won't be good, but for now, that's decent. So let me just clean this up and then clean that up too. So now we have this sorted out for now. I'm going to put in the bullet damage for the next episode. For now, we have the movement. The red hull is also another one that's going to also be part of part 2. So just watch the next episode if you want to know how to program the AI to just go for this tank here, but not just keep on smashing into it so that it's like bugs out when they say to go to the front. Thank you so much for your time, and bye!